Well, every now and then we're told we should not be starry-eyed. Well, thank God the Magi were, and I hope we are too. We can't live without stars, without some kind of stars. There's something sad and telling about how the light our cities produce prevent us seeing the stars in their bright beauty. It's a parable. Our own lights, our own ideas and projections can obscure the light shining from above. So we are locked in our own world, in a false brightness. But the planets and the stars remain. They're a sign of what transcends us. No wonder the ancients gave them the names of gods: Jupiter, Venus, Mars. I remember the memoir of a Polish woman who spent long years in a Soviet labor camp. What sustained her were the times she could lie looking up at the stars. They reminded her there was more to life. They put everything else in context. It was her way of prayer. We can't live without stars. We're like ancient mariners. We need them to steer by over the sea of time in the night of history. We need them to reach the haven of heaven. Every time a scientific truth or artistic beauty or a human value lights up for us, fills us with delight, then a star shines in our sky. We can take our bearings in the world. We can find our place and act simply. The Magi were seekers of this kind of truth, and it took them to Christ. Then again, other people can be stars to us. People we have met. Who hasn't had at least one inspiring teacher? Or again, one book, one poem, one song, or something that my father or my mother always used to say. The people we're given to cherish. The luminous men and women God raises up generation after generation. The saints, not the celebrities, shooting stars, but the true children of God, sometimes hardly known, sometimes widely, the ones who in the midst of a crooked and perverse generation shine as lights in the world, says St. Paul, holding fast the word of life, the people who live the Beatitudes. The wise, says the prophet Daniel, will shine as brightly as the vault of heaven, and those who have instructed many in virtue as bright as stars for all eternity. We need stars because stars are above us, and unless we live by what's above us, beyond our immediate needs, beyond pleasure and pain and likes and dislikes, we won't have a life worth living. The Magi let their star take them away from their world, beyond themselves, into the night of faith. It took them to the little house in Bethlehem, symbol of the church, to Mary and Joseph, and to the gift of themselves in adoration. That is a way in the dark for all us Gentiles to follow. Well, between 7 and 6 BC, Jupiter and Saturn did come together in the sign of Pisces, and there would have been unusual brightness in the night sky. The Magi would have seen it, and it's likely they knew the ancient prophecy of Balaam. I see him, but not now. I behold him, but not nigh. A star shall come forth out of Jacob, a scepter shall rise out of Israel. The star in the sky pointed them to that star, the Messiah, Jesus, the star of Jacob, the bright morning star, the light to enlighten the Gentiles. The stars are not gods, and astrology is untrue, but we cannot live without stars. The pure and the poor around us, a true conscience, prophets and evangelists, God's word, and most of all, Jesus himself, the true star of Bethlehem. Brothers and sisters, let us please, please be starry-eyed.